What's going on, world? It's your boy Gemini Brown here, back with another episode of Natal Kicking Knowledge. Today, we'll be taking a look at the north and south node of the moons and why that's important when aspecting personal planets within your chart. So, let's get into it. Now, if you don't know, I'll preface to say that this is an introduction video for a presentation that I will be doing on this topic, as well as a series that I'm going to do over time. So check the video that I made, Astro Essentials, on this topic, and reach out to me if you want to be a part of the webinar. But more than likely, I will have the replays available too. So getting into it, the north and south node of the moons, in the technical sense, what they are, it's when is represented when the path of the sun and the moon intersect and creates a point in the northern hemisphere as well as the southern hemisphere, and how that translates into an individual, and even in the collective, is that it on a collective level, the north and south node really deals with moving society forward, along with like the outer planets. So when you follow the transits of the north and south node in the world, you will see those themes start to take form. For example, while the north node was in Cancer, we really saw the ascension of women's roles within society, or kind of like the return of more of a matriarchal ideology and things like that. Lots of movement. And then when you look a little bit deeper, the people who had personal planets in Cancer, Capricorn at the time, were, i.e. like a Cardi B, were really thrusted towards destiny. So that's what we're really going to explore within the presentation. So now, on a more personal, in the natal chart, the north and south node is giving you karmic insight into your past, where you've been and where you're going. So the north node, also known as Rahu, is representing where you're going. And what I like to do is I like to take the north node, your rising sign, and your sun, and really give you a nice general sense of the soul's purpose. So north node is like, okay, wherever the north node is, this is what I need to work at cultivating. So I need to develop more of the expression of this sign, and wherever house this is in, I'm destined to partake in manifestations coming from that area. Okay, now, and then the south node is going to correspond to the past. Things like I like to consider it like a soul memory, right? Along with other aspects, like a soul memory. So in the evaluation of the south node, I like to look at Uranus, I like to look at Neptune, and of course the moon and the 12th. So many other things, right? So the south node is like a natural inclination. And it's very interesting when you look at the charts of people with strong south node connections and aspects to other planets. It's almost like the person is finishing up something that they started in previous lives, or like if it's a harsher aspect, is going to result in knowing the thing but really needing to overcome and perfect that particular thing. So now what I've been doing is just really paying attention towards what happened, because we all have a north and south node, but they may not always be in direct aspect towards a planet. So what I've done is to really go through and look at a gamut of different people in the positions of their north and south nodes, and whenever there's a significant aspect to a personal planet in a particular house, how is that manifested? So the first thing that I want you to know about this is that when the north node is coming into aspect with a personal planet in the sense of, let's say, the conjunction, this can signify that when it comes to that planet, that the person has a lot of development to undergo with this. So the focus should be on merging. The purpose is really the I want to say merging, but it's the actual development, because we know conjunctions are the two energies together. But the key thing you want to know about the North Node or Rahu is that it adapts wherever it goes. It's almost like impersonator. So if it's in Sagittarius, it's really like, okay, Jupiter, what's going on? I'm following you. So it's very it's very easily influenced. It's a sensitive energy. So when it's coming into conjunction, which is the most powerful aspect, you have a complete submersion into that energy, a real focus. Now, the key thing, and this is what we'll explore more, is understanding the nature of the North Node or Rahu. And the funny thing, and this takes time. It takes time. And I can say when I first got into astrology, I was putting personalities to the planets, and a lot of that was based on the natural mythologies and understandings of them that were available. But there really wasn't much on the nodes, although the myth story says a lot, okay? And we will go over that, and if you're curious, look it up, the mythology of Rahu and Ketu, okay? So I was striving to put personalities to them, okay? And of course, it started with my own Rahu, and just saying like, okay, how does this energy operate in comparison towards other points in my chart? And what you'll find here with Rahu is that it's a reckless energy. If I had to compare it to another type of energy in the personal planet, I would say Mars, because it wants to do. It's concerned with like, what is my assignment, or what needs to be done. So wherever that North Node is, it's like, okay, I need to learn this place and I'm going to explore it. But it's the reason I liken it to a Mars, or I should say like with an Aries spirit, is because it wants it rapidly. It's just trying. It isn't really thinking, right? So that's why we make mistakes in life. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to understand your purpose or anything on the first go round. Is a series of trial and error, and that's like partly represented through Rahu and its nature. Like this is the part of ourselves that leaps before looking, right? And it's funny, in the myth, it's the head, so it can see, but it's never satisfied. So check out the myth and all of that. And then, so North Node, Rahu, I feel like it's a very eager, opportunist energy that will do anything to achieve the purpose. So like Mars, kind of cutthroat in the soldier, like the job needs to be done, okay? But like I said, you'll want to start with gaining an understanding of your Rahu, like what sign is in, and then okay. So you want to do that. Now, it's the same for the South Node, but let me give you a little insight into like the nature of the South Node. So in the myth, the South Node is the body without the head. So to some extent, it is lost. It's kind of just going, right? Which is also representative on a Neptunian level, right? Of that fog of spirit and just being and trying to make sense of everything, right? So formless, you want to think about that. But I also want to think about with the South Node, you want to think about pure intuition. It's almost like, and this is, I'm speaking of like a manifestation of it, right? I want to like compare it to like the Men in Black 3 movie, when they had this like this species that he could see the realities of so many things happening at once. I liken Ketu to it in the sense that it's aware, but it may not, it's not able to necessarily filter, and that's like the blindness to it. So it can manifest or feel as though in the South Node you're walking in the dark, you know what I'm saying, and trying to find the light or whatever, and you're feeling your way through, and it's like a kinda, right, but you can't fully see. Now, to kind of put it together, right, or bring balance to that, we can extract here that in order to cut the light on, we gotta march towards the purpose, and we'll find that head and all of that, okay? And how you do that will be pertain to the houses and signs. But anywho, so when it comes to a conjunction of the North Node or Rahu, we can more than likely assess that this planet, there's a strong emphasis that this planet needs to be developed in this life, and then it'll more than likely manifest in this eagerness within the person. So if it's Venus, they're going to be a super romantic, right? But I will also say no two charts are the same. So in the same regard, you may have someone who's this North Node in Venus conjunct shows that like it wasn't developed because the karma is of not taking action in this life. So there could be a karmic pattern of still refraining from that. So nonetheless, it's like when you see it conjunct North Node, you know, like, okay, this is an important planet. This is an underdeveloped planet from previous lives, okay? So then we go to the conjunction of the South Node. So when a planet is conjunct the South Node, you'll really want to see where this is occurring, so what house, and then in addition to that, are there trines or squares attached to this? Now, what this conjunction and those aspects from there give insight as to how the person expressed this South Node energy conjunct the South Node in the past. So in this regard, it can be an asset towards them, right? Where in the sense of you sowed something really good. So if you were like a really good parent in the past life, you will have a really good parent in this life. However, the whole thing of the South Node is about its remaining stagnant. So if going back to my idea of saying like, it's like not being able to find your way. After a while, when a person's like, yo, I've been trying to like get out of here and I can't, I'm just going to sit here where I'm comfortable. So the thing about the South Node is it represents extreme comfortableness. And within the chart, certain eases can hold you back from that North Node, right? But nonetheless, it's important in the sense that it can also be an asset. So in the same vein, let's say this is a South Node conjunct Venus, and this happens to end up in the 5th house. This is someone who's more than likely is coming in with some real strong talent from a past life, okay? And either they need a little less ego, a little bit more, right? But what I'm going to do, we'll discuss further, is how to use the rest of the chart to give more emphasis towards those particular alignments, okay? So then the next part is about like looking at like the other aspects, the trines or the squares. So in the sense of squares to the North Node, Squares, and this is why I said people always, you have to understand how squares work, because if you're just relating it to the sense of like, I have a planet that squares and that means that like I'm not good at this. No, squares are at points of growth. So it's like, okay, you need to learn this in this life, but in order for you to learn this, you're going to need some tension. So when you think of squares, think of pressure makes diamonds, right? So when you have squares to the north node, that means it's not necessary. It's not going to come easy, right? Or what propels you towards your destiny can be something that comes out of not a necessarily like a perceived tragedy. So let's say we got north node in the 8th house opposing Jupiter in the 2nd, and let's say squaring off to like a Venus in somewhere in the 5th or 11th, right? This can signify inheritance coming through death, right? So those harsh aspects, so the north node square to Venus, I lost this person. This relationship was near and dear to me, right? But opposite to that, oh shit, it brought balance to my situation here. So we're going to explore all these little different variations. And then for the more harmonious aspects, like I said, this can represent just advantages towards reaching your destiny. And a quick one, let's go with north node in the 2nd, sextile moon in the 4th. Okay, this can be, and let's put them in really, let's put them in like a Taurus to a Cancer. This can represent someone having good security within the home life, or the emotional security needed, right? That doesn't mean that the rest of your chart is all, you know, peaches and herb, but for what in this regard, in regards towards whatever emotional development you're meant to obtain, or emotional, you know, values or restriction of that energy supports you within it. Okay. But then it's always going to come to a point of you having to move. You like move, not just accept the energy, but move towards it. Then sextiles and, you know, trines to like the south node, like I said, these can really represent gifts, like or people, also assets. So like a powerful, let's say you have like the south node in your 11th house trine a Pluto in the 3rd. Shit, this could be representative of having like a famous grandfather. I've seen stuff like this play out, you know what I'm saying? And your grandfather helps, like his legacy empowers your 11th house endeavors. It's all karmic, you know what I'm saying? But this is just a little insight on keys, things you need to know about planets aspecting. I'm going to go into more during the presentation. Like I said, over time, I'll do videos. You know, I'll do videos on particular placements. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, feel free to do so now. If you want to join the class, if you want to book a reading, send me an email. We'll set something up. Till next time, peace.